General Motors has to wake up to the reality it has only 20% of the market. It has too many brands. It has too many suppliers. It has too many dealers. It has too large a workforce. And that's the reality it has to confront.
GM's plan is to cut roughly 1/3 of its 96,000 U.S. employees, 11 of its 48 plants, and up to 2,000 of its 6,500 dealerships. It will also look to sell or close 2 of its brands, Saturn and Saab. That's in addition to Hummer, which is already for sale. The plan also calls for squeezing even more cost out of GM factories. There's the roughly $4 billion a year GM has been spending not on product development, but on pensions and health care for employees. Baird thinks bankruptcy may actually be the best option for GM, but he warns it would not be an easy one, and the consequences could be severe.
How messy would a General Motors bankruptcy be?
This would be the messiest ever. You have not only is it a huge company, but it's got a supply chain that not only reaches down to the dealers, but also reaches up to huge numbers of small businesses that supply parts to General Motors.
Now, gentlemen, is essentially look at the winners and the losers, because there are both. Some will actually benefit from the fall of GM, namely its competitors, who have a chance to fill the breach while the giant manufacturer is out of action. Korean car manufacturers should do particularly well from the gap in the market, as they are cheaper than both European and Japanese alternatives. But the company that may benefit the most is GM itself. The US rescue plan should mean, given time, it'll become competitive and profitable again. On the flip side, though, some of the world's biggest investors have been stung by all of this, including Barclays and Goldman Sachs, though sympathy for the banking sector isn't exactly high these days. What is very important to remember, though, the thousands of everyday people who'll be unemployed and the ensuing fallout on local economies.
Isn't that big anymore. Their market share is small, their contribution to the economy is small, and they screwed it up. They have to be allowed to fail in order to recreate themselves. This company has been mismanaged for more than 30 years, and no matter how much talent is locked up in it, which I agree, there is talent locked up in it, it's not going to get out, because the management that is in there now is the same management that drove this company into the
For decades, GM's brass had dismissed criticism of the company's cars, all while GM's market share plummeted.
We've certainly made major advances in quality.
We've continued to improve the quality of our new products.
We've made continuous progress, beginning with our improvements in quality.
But at the end of the day, GM has some of the most talented designers, engineers, and blue-collar workers in the world. It is already producing fuel-efficient cars that are finding a market.
GM's new vehicles may be as good as the company claims, but if it hopes to survive for another 100 years, or even another 5, General Motors will have to win over more than just lawmakers.
If we say yes to you, who do we say no to?
It will also have to convince car buyers that its roughest roads are behind it.